Heyo. I have a Ave Maria divinia. One of these. Maybe it will focus. It's good wrap. It's solid. Uh, but it's not too solid. Like, it's hard, but it's still got a bit of squish to the wrap. I'm hoping it will stay lit for a good little bit, since it's got a bit of that squish to it. Something I've noticed with the divinias, or not divinias, but Ave Marias, uh, since I've been smoking them, because I bought a pack of 25. Uh, I got a couple of more after this one. Uh, haven't been smoking any. Uh, I mean, y'all would know because I ain't uploaded, but that's because it's cold out here. It's a nice cold, but it is very freezing now. Mainly because the wind when it hits you. But it's nice. The flavor on it is, it's kind of weird because it's very strong, but not one flavor sticks out. It's just one big flavor. But what I've been able to discern from these, whenever I would smell them before lit and take a puff on it before lit, it had a type of fruits and berries dry pull off of it. The smoke was following my face. I was having a hard time getting away with it, getting away from it to breathe. There's something stuck to that chair. Anyways, uh, it is an alright uh, cigar. I wouldn't say the Ave Marias are my all-time favorite. Just after a little while of being able to smoke these, because the pack I bought was all Ave Marias. Like, I'm picking up stuff from it each and every time I do smoke one. Uh, but I think next time I'm gonna stick to some cigars that I actually know that I like. because I'm planning on next time, if I can, getting asylums instead of Ave Maria's. A box of asylums where I was going cost like 200 and maybe 70. So, uh, but for one of them, it's just like $11. Well, it fluctuates a little bit. Some are 11, some are 10, some are 8. Uh, just depends on which cigar you get and how big it is. The like more slender ones, uh, maybe about that long, which is the size of a normal cigar, cost you around $8. Something with like I do believe like an inch on it, uh, are the $11 ones, but those are the Gordo, I believe is the term for it. Cigars, they're the big ones. Uh, it's quite cold out here, so this video might be a little shorter than the rest. Oh, and I went to a new church. Oh. Uh, it was different, but I actually really liked it there. It it's a big church, more than I'm comfortable with. That's the only part that is not my favorite, because I'm used to go to small churches, ones that are a lot less people. Uh, but it was like this big movie theater, but it just had a stage. And they came out, they set everything up. They had a guitar, well, actually, a few guitars, someone on piano, like one of the electric pianos, and they had someone on, well, they had two on vocals, two on electric guitars, one on acoustic, and one on drums. And one thing I actually did really like is, unlike the churches I'm normal or used to going to, you do not get up and sing. They sing, you can get up and like dance in place, which is what a few people do. Which, I mean, hey, everybody praises in their own way. I ain't gonna judge. It's new. I like it. It's enjoyable. But one thing I really did like is there's more preaching. It's not a whole bunch of songs, it's actually a lot more preaching than it is the music. I ain't saying nothing bad about my old church. Uh, I loved when they would preach in that church. It just felt like they sang a lot more than they did preach. lane somewhere. No, I think that was a helicopter. That is a big truck. It's actually a very beautiful day today. It's sunny and blue sky, white fluffy clouds. It's just really cold. I got a bit of the berry just then. It's weird because it's like the berry is muted. It's like a very muted flavor. But yeah, it's like a warm berry flavor. It's quite weird. Oh. My dad does not like these. But that is understanding because I like the stronger cigars. He likes the more mellow, light ones. We had two very different problems when we first got into cigars. Me, I couldn't taste the light ones. Uh, and so I quickly found my way to the bit stronger cigars. Uh, but I will say, even though this one has a wrapper that looks a lot like one of the lighter ones that I've had before, like from a different brand, it is actually quite deceiving. They are quite potent. Like, to a point where I don't like smoking some of them. Because some of them's just, ugh, like, ain't even a flavor at that point. It's just more of a filling. That's another weird thing. But mainly, one thing I've learned from watching the Bearded Cigarist, uh, or Bearded Cigar, I can't remember. It's either Bearded Cigarist or Bearded Cigar. I watch him on YouTube. He's got a lot of good pointers and tips for when you're smoking cigars. Uh, I actually bought some of his cigars, and I gotta say they are fantastic. Um, there was like one or two that I didn't like, but that was mainly because I believe one of them was the Gordo size, or I don't know if he has Gordo, but it was one of the bigger sizes, like big around, not really long. Uh, it was hard to even smoke that cigar. Uh, so I tend to stay within this ring gauge or smaller than this, but that's nothing towards how he made it. That's just I have a preference for size of cigar. But it was also when I first started smoking cigars, uh, which I was pretty terrible at lighting. I mean, every now and again I'll still have a cigar that I light that ends up like this, but back when I first started, it was worse. Like, I've had it to where it just traveled up one side, but none of the edges. It, but I believe every person who's ever started cigars has had that happen. The birds are out in the yard. They're looking for stiff. I guess it's not their time to fly off or finding better weather. That was quite an odd flavor. It wasn't a bad flavor, it's just I don't know what to call it. Which is something else that irks me. Because I have a book, it says every flavor a cigar has in it, uh, or at least every flavor that there can be in a cigar. And I know the pepper flavors, that's the easiest one for me to understand. It's just the rest of them, besides chocolate and all those other ones. I've had cigars that smelled like chocolate and tasted like chocolate. And I've also had cigars that smelled like chocolate but never tasted like chocolate, but I couldn't discern what the flavor was. Some of these, when I would smell them before I lit them, would smell like Fig Newtons. And some would smell like black licorice, uh, and some other stuff. But I don't know if black licorice is a flavor on the chart, or at least a smell, anyways. I have experienced a lot of weird stuff in this little journey of cigars. I lit it wonky, that's why the ash is all wonky. But if you get a cigar, and as long as you don't light it wonky, uh, you smoke it down, and the ash actually clings to it from where you've lit it, and it keeps clinging. That's how you can tell it's a good wrapped cigar. The only cigars I've had that don't really stay together uh, as you smoke it, or not as strongly as a regular cigar, is a Cuban sandwich. Cuban sandwiches are basically where you take the excess of materials like tobacco that you've cut off of, so you just got scrap pieces, and you wrap them into a cigar. They're called Cuban sandwiches because it's all just different kinds of tobacco leaf smashed together. At least that's what I heard. It's got a very warm nuttiness to it as well. It's a nice cigar, just not my favorite out of the Ave Maria bunch. I think the Ave Maria I like the most is either the Holy Grail or the Lionheart, but I can't really remember. It's been a little bit. My eyelashes are sticking together. Ugh. There was one cigar that I smoked once, and its proceeds go to either a children's hospital or to children. They fund a place that's trying to crack down on human trafficking. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it's much like one of these that has the knight on it, but it's a knight fighting a dragon. And when you take the wrapper off of it, it has a little inscription in the inside, like the story of the cigar and why they sell them. I forget what it's called, but that's the description of it. If y'all want to check them out, I highly advise it. Uh, but it's basically a knight fighting a dragon. When you take the wrapper off, it has a paragraph in the wrapper. I don't know if it's a part of the Ave Maria or not. That's why I'm not saying it is an Ave Maria. I'm just saying there's a cigar out there. But yeah, this is an Ave Maria divinia. This one is. Anyways. think I'm done being out here. It is quite cold. Y'all have a blessed day, and remember, go with Jesus. He is always the way. Love y'all.